Definitely go and check out Country to the Bone by Landlaw. Nope, not Land Law. Land Law. Lanlaw.
They got 3 songs.
Oh. Hillbilly Legal. Now that sounds like a southern
Lawyer. Or like a mega lawyer firm. Call Hillbilly Legal.
That sounds like a
On with it.
like a show,
like one of them,
like Law and Order, but it's in like the rural South. Hillbilly Legal,
like a Southern General Hospital. Hey, howdy, hey, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Mike's Monday Jams, the official podcast for music appreciators everywhere. Today we're talking about the song Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay by the lovely Otis Redding. Let's get it.
Watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm just sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time.
Well, it's Monday, January 20th, the EC and MC on the track. Big day. It's Inauguration Day. It's MLK Day, so hopefully you have a nice day off. And it's also listener Tommy's birthday. Shout out
it's the college football national championship.
Shout out to Tommy. Rude of you to just, interject on Tommy's birthday call.
I'm sorry.
With the
Happy
national
birthday,
championship.
I'm so jealous. It would be sick to have the national championship on your birthday.
Fair. Tommy, in case you didn't know this, you also share a birthday with Blueface.
Blueface, baby.
Blueface, baby.
Bust Down Tatiana. And really timely, rest in peace, David Lynch. You do share a birthday.
Not anymore.
Shared a birthday.
He's dead.
With David Lynch. Rest in peace. But Tommy, you are thriving. So happy birthday to you.
Huge day.
Cheers to many more, my friend. So huge day indeed. Big Monday here.
What's Tommy turning? 42?
47.
Oh, okay.
Kenny Chesney announced he's going to the Sphere.
Weird.
Making no sense whatsoever, but I guess he'd posted some promo picture the other day of him in Times Square advertising it. And it's like, wouldn't you want to post outside the actual Sphere?
Maybe go to Vegas, not
with the blue chair and everything. It just made no sense.
Yeah.
It all doesn't make any sense, but I'm sure there will be plenty of drunk people at it.
That is a little frightening.
What?
Drunk Kenny Chesney fans?
In front of a big ball
people gonna
screen?
be yakking. People gonna be falling down the stairs.
Yakking.
They gonna be yakking.
Some steep stairs.
That
I would know.
Horrible. No thanks.
Pretty steep up there. By the time you're listening to this, TikTok is probably banned.
It'll come back.
RIP. TikTok.
RIP for a few days, y'all. It's gonna come back. Chill out.
And people are talking about how they'll quote TikToks just as much as they quote Vines. I feel like while that might be true, the Vine references were more special because there was fewer of them.
Yeah, and there was only 6 seconds to make something impactful enough that you would still quote it.
And there's a TikTok trend every day, a new one. So I got option overload there. I only get on it to post content for this channel. Now, who's to say I'll probably never touch TikTok again?
I stopped using TikTok, maybe it might have been a year ago at this point. That just means that I use Instagram Reels. It doesn't mean that I don't look at short-form content.
Somebody the other day told me, Instagram Reels is great, but when you scroll too long, it starts to get scary. I'm like, what are you seeing on the Instagram Reels?
It might just be a baby, because I do be seeing some weird stuff
baby?
on there.
Let's go.
Sometimes I do be seeing weird stuff, but The reason I stopped using TikTok had nothing to do with my attention span, because I am still interested in keeping it short. But I got sick and tired of TikTok selling me stuff.
Keeping it short.
I got tired of TikTok's always trying. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, I love this bodysuit." It's like you've never even worn it. It's because you could do the TikTok shop, where you could
It's embarrassing to get things from the TikTok shop.
Which I've gotten a few things from TikTok shop before. I got some bags that I used for gifts. And honestly, they were fine, but it's just buying off of Shein or Temu. It's like drop ship stuff from China, and people act like it's not. Which Shein and Temu are not pretending to not be little Bangladeshi kids making this bag. But the people on TikTok are trying to act like they found something. It's no, you're buying this on AliExpress and reselling it. So I got sick and tired of being sold stuff, and now also I know now they're really crazy with the TikTok lives, and they have all these lives where they try to act like it's QVC and sell stuff on the live.
Yeah, and it's you have to get it now.
Yeah, and I don't want to I don't want that to be served to me all the time, and I do not get stuff like that on Instagram Reels.
Taking advantage of the exclusivity market.
And children.
Yes.
All of it is selling stuff to kids.
They're taking advantage of the children, okay?
Which, have at it, but I won't be. It's a free world, and I don't have to watch that crap anymore.
Right.
I'll watch different crap on Instagram Reels, and
yes.
I get to scroll right past the ad.
So it's probably banned, but that's okay. Whatever.
It'll come back.
I saw some.
Get banned for a couple days.
I have a lot of music appreciator circles on my YouTube, and there was one thumbnail that said something about TikTok getting banned might be really good for music, and I wish I clicked on it, but I can only assume just because people are just either addicted to the sped up versions of songs, popular songs, or
it's just that there's so many
just
songs
get the snippets and you don't get
that's how music becomes popular now.
Yes.
But people aren't listening to the radio, so I don't think that's gonna make them turn to more traditional ways of getting music. So
no, but we'll see. Unfortunately, the California fires are still at it, so pour one out for our homies over there. I mean, it's quite a tough.
Ideally, on the fire to try to contain it.
Correct. It's quite a tough scenario.
Really unfortunate.
If you know anybody out there, we are thinking about them, and we are hoping for some progress there, and hoping for safety and quick restoration. I completed the Frank Sinatra biography book this past week, Sinatra and Me. Pretty good book. Frank never wrote an autobiography, but this was written by his bestie for the restie. It was pretty good. Gave some nice perspective into old Blue Eyes himself. So.
Did you get that for Christmas?
I did. Shout out, Chuck.
Well, that was nice of Charlie.
Appreciate you, gang-o.
That was when we were opening gifts from him, and he thought we didn't get him anything.
Well, psych! He was sitting there on the ground
he was
say
fuming.
psych right now. Say psych right now. I mean, just lot of news today.
Keep at it, babe.
The Switch 2 has been announced. After more research, that April date is not the release date. It's just the date they're doing the Nintendo Direct with the hands-on. So I would imagine it's probably not coming out till late summer.
Yeah, that's usually when big stuff like that comes out.
Because they want it to be the star of the show for Quiz Mice.
Especially stuff that can be marketed to kids like that. You want it to come out. It's kind of like when the new phone comes out.
Yes. You want it to come out in that September time region. So you can build some anticipation. But I'm sure either way, it'll probably be very, very sold out. The Switch is a very popular system. Running for a very long time, since March of 2017. So,
you've had two of them.
I have. So, we'll see what the future holds there. So, we're talking on MLK's birthday here, or Martin Luther King Day, as it's observed as a national holiday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was actually born on the 20th. I don't think so. Let's see what day he was actually born on. Was it the
Probably
16th?
didn't.
It was the 15th, so we're a little bit after here, which I think is interesting. It just doesn't follow his actual birthday, but I guess President's Day does the same thing, right?
Yeah, like President's Day is like kind of on Washington's birthday,
Yeah, or Lincoln's.
but they're like all in February, I think.
Yes.
So that's like why it's called President's Day.
President's Day 2025 is February 17th.
Did you know that the NFL is trying, like it's like in talks, to make it an 18-week season, give every team another bye week within those 18 weeks, and make the Super Bowl always the day before President's Day, so then the Monday after the Super Bowl would always be a national holiday.
I don't remember the last time I was able to observe President's Day personally.
Nope. But people do actually think that if they did do that, then maybe more places would actually recognize President's Day.
Interesting.
Because so many people don't go to work the day after the Super Bowl.
No, they do not, because they spent the night before flushing their toilets.
Mm-hmm. Most flushes at once in the year, at halftime of the Super Bowl.
Makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, February 8th? It's coming up. Less than a month.
Well, yeah, this weekend's a divisional round, so it's only...
Ooh.
What does that make it? 3 weeks away?
Yes, we shall see. But given that the Billboard charts did not exist at the time of MLK's birthday, we looked at the number one song that was on the Billboard charts at the time of his untimely assassination, unfortunately. And
lovely reason to pick the Monday Jam.
okay, listen, but it's a great indirect way to honor the wonderful Otis Redding.
Okay.
Which we'll talk about it, but today's Monday Jam, number one song on the Billboard Hot 100 at the time of Dr. King's death in April 4, 1968 in Memphis, Tennessee. And it's better than picking that damn U2 song, so, they got that whole song about MLK. You know that one. In the name of love. Oh. You didn't know that was about MLK, did you?
No, I didn't. I stay away from that.
Well, what if you run into Bono in Ireland this summer?
I'll walk the other way. Not interested in speaking to Bono, and I don't think Bono's interested in speaking to me.
Well, let's speak to Otis Redding through the ether.
Okay.
He's from Dawson, Georgia, which I
Oh.
think is near Macon because they ended up moving to Macon. Dropped out of school at 15 to support his family. And he worked in Little Richard's backing band, the Upsetters.
Oh.
Got a gig that way. But he knew music from an early age, like 5 or 6, through being involved in the Baptist choir at church. And he used to perform gospel songs on the radio in Macon, Georgia.
Oh.
And he got paid for that.
I'm thinking about him being a little kid. Like, I can't imagine, like, naming a little kid Otis.
Well, he does come from the Otis Elevator fortune. No, he
That's
doesn't.
a first name?
He doesn't, no.
But no, just imagine a little baby like, oh, little Otis. Which, of course, we know. Cody and Kelsey named their baby Otis. But
Goatus.
it's just like, what? It's like,
Otis Ray Redding. That kind of flows off the tongue,
Otis
though.
Ray. They were calling him by Otis Ray.
Otis Ray. Probably. But it flows off the tongue.
It's so odd to think about a baby named Otis. Otis just sounds like it's like a great name for a dog. Oh, like a dog named Otis. That's funny. Or, of course, a cow.
Yes, from the
Back at the barnyard.
Mm-hmm.
Clear! All right!
Great show, and the film it's based off of also great. But the biggest question is, they say he's a man cow, but he's got udders. That is a woman cow. He's not a man. I guess
wonder what
maybe
they were
he's a
thinking in the writing
transgender
room.
cow.
I wonder what they were thinking.
I don't know.
They were ahead of their time, really. So
But
progressive.
he has the woman cow love interest, and she's like, oh, him, they call
So
him.
progressive.
He's got udders hanging out.
The hanging brain with udders.
He's not a bull. So just thoughts there.
But our guy Otis Ray did some talent shows in Macon too to get
fun.
some attention, and then he also joined Johnny Jenkins' band and toured all over the Southeast.
Oh, have you ever even witnessed? Not that I'm saying you're not talented. You very much are, but I assume you've never been in a talent show.
I have not.
Have you ever been to a talent show?
No.
We should be doing more talent shows.
As what?
I don't know. I wish I could go to a talent show.
I guess that's like the equivalent of open mic nights, but nobody wins,
Mm-hmm. I would like to go to a local high school's talent show. I would think that was so fun.
I would get very bad secondhand embarrassment from the entire experience, I feel.
No, that would be awesome. See, I love stuff like that.
Why don't you just be like IE and turn on AGT,
No, because that doesn't feel real.
It doesn't. It feels incredibly
It's
staged.
incredibly fake. But if we went to a local high school's talent show, that would feel real.
Oh, there's no filters there.
Mm-mm. Awkward, embarrassing, and awesome.
It sounds like a feeding ground for energy vampires.
Mm-hmm. I was in the 8th grade talent show.
I know. Didn't you lip sync?
No, that was the lip sync contest. That
Okay.
was a different event.
This is when
We sang Half of the Run and Go by
Mhm.
21 Pilots and 9 in the afternoon.
Okay. Just because you mentioned the run and go, this video will get 100 views. Thank you.
I'll make sure to put Tyler Joseph in the thumbnail.
But in the time of touring with Johnny Jenkins' band, he got an unplanned recording session at Stax. They were insistent. I think it was one record executive was insistent upon getting Otis into Stax, and the band member, it was late one night, band members were the session players nah, we trying to go home or whatever. He's like, no, you got to hear Otis. And
Stay, he's Godis.
he's Goatus. But he did 2 songs, and then that got him a deal. So debut album, Pain in My Heart, around 1964. In 1964. At this time, of course, it's tough to be a black person in America. In particular for Otis Redding, hard to record music, especially some of the standards that he wanted to record. A lot of executives tried to prevent him from recording because they were we're not interested in your take on this quote unquote classic. So, but a good example, Try a Little Tenderness, he did a cover of, and thank God he did, because he's got quite a unique spin on that song. So you should definitely go listen to that song in adjacent to today's. Was able to tour Europe, I think, once or twice. There was even a live album that was Otis in Europe. But when he arrived in the UK, the Beatles...
I said, good day, Otis.
That was too much. So when he arrived in the UK, after they said...
Good day, Otis. How you doing, bruv?
the Beatles sent him their limo.
Oh.
So, because when we watched Beatles 64, they were talking about how they were influenced by a lot of black artists, and I think Godis was one of them. So, they probably felt it was of course we would, they were probably starstruck.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gorgeous.
You started with your obnoxious British accent.
I was I was going for the linen, and then it came out wrong.
Yeah.
But Otis, please use our limo. How was that?
You sounded
Bad.
like an extra in Love, actually.
They don't talk. Extras don't talk.
I don't know, one that, just runs in.
As long as I don't sound like Alan Rickman, that asshole.
It's okay. He gets paid
He gets
back
his
in
pay
Die
back
Hard.
in Die Hard.
And just to give you an idea of how successful Otis Redding was, in the year 1967, he sold more records than Sinatra and Dean Martin combined.
Oh, wow.
So
the drunks.
The Drunks, which in the biopic, it was a book, the biography. It talks about Frank's relationship with Dean, and Dean, it was just a personality. It was the drunkenness.
Sure.
So
we're really saying he
it was a
drunk all the
personality that became more of a yes.
The character became him.
Yes.
Like Austin Butler playing Elvis.
Yes. Couldn't he not shut up?
He still cannot stop doing the Elvis voice, but he can't stop doing the Elvis voice. In Dune, don't you remember he talked weird? And everybody's like, he's the worst part of the movie because he can't stop doing the Elvis voice, and he's doing it in Dune. Which, honestly, that made the movie better for me. Give me something to laugh
He looked real freaky in that film, man. So every time he gets sick, is he just like, whoa, mighty, feel my temperature rise?
I have one thought. You mentioned in Dean Martin's or Frank Sinatra's bio, the book. Mm-hmm. And you talked about a biopic. When people say biopic,
doesn't make any sense.
Why are we saying biopic? It's a biographical picture.
Yes, biopic. It's almost like it should have a dash.
Yeah.
Between bio.
I guess you people are saying biopic because it's one word, but it sounds crazy to me.
Even the other day when Timothée Chalamet was on Theo Von this past weekend, he also didn't know if it was properly biopic or biopic.
Well, I'm making a personal decision that for me it's biopic.
I agree. I think it should universally be biopic. Mm-hmm. It would make sense.
Was that a biopic?
Comment your take. But A Complete Unknown?
Yeah.
Yes, it was a biopic.
Oh, I just didn't know because it was based off that book.
Yes. So it covers a 6-year period in Bob Dylan's life, like a 5-6 year period, and that's it.
And that's a biopic? I thought a biopic is about somebody's whole life.
I think it's just a...
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I mean, it also did the end credit things where it's like, Bob Dylan went on to release however many albums and
went on to whine for years to come.
And play that loud ass harmonica. So, but that's just to give you an idea of how successful Otis Redding was. And obviously he received a lot of accolades. And according to sources, he had over 200 suits and over 400 pairs of shoes. He's a very stylish guy. Very stylish guy.
That's a lot of pairs of shoes.
Mm-hmm. He
really great commentary from me there.
That's a lot of pairs of shoes. That was so insightful, so profound for you to say. I don't think anybody was thinking that.
Did he have a family?
Yes. He had a wife and he had a couple kids, one kid.
They must have lived in a really big house if he had enough space for 400 pairs of
shoes.
I mean, that's like...
He doing a lot of walking.
You gotta have an entire, not a closet, like a room dedicated space to those shoes. Yes. And that's come from two people that I feel like we have a good amount of shoes.
Yes. But he actually bought and built a ranch in Georgia called it Big Old Ranch. Oh. And he was a very philanthropic guy. He had plans to construct a summer camp for disadvantaged children. And those plans were cut short by his untimely death, unfortunately.
Rough.
Another person who did not heed it probably wasn't his fault, didn't heed the warnings of the dangers of air travel, and he died in a plane crash, unfortunately.
Oh, a tiny plane?
It was like one of them private-sized planes before it was a private jet kind of thing. It was like one
a
of
chartered
smaller,
plane.
Yeah. But the weather was really bad, and I think air traffic controller was like, I wouldn't if I was you, and they were like, I
don't think you can do stuff like that now.
No. It was...
I think if the air traffic controller said I wouldn't do that, I think you get...
Hey, I wouldn't do that if I was you, big dog.
I think you're getting taken down.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting off the tarmac. So, unfortunately, he did pass away at the age of 26. So, not a long career for Otis Redding.
He didn't even make it to the club.
The club?
The 27 Club.
No, he didn't. I was just thinking that too. He didn't.
Then why'd you say what club?
Well, because I don't know. I got thrown off. You were in my head, man. Get out of my head. Why are you in my head, man?
He would have been the founding member.
I suppose so.
Or did Jim Morrison didn't die before that?
I don't think so. Fact check.
He's the founding member.
Is Jim Morrison or Jimi Hendrix the founding member? 71, Jim Morrison. 70. I think that would mean Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, he's the founding member. Who else is there? Amy Winehouse and Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain. Rolling right along. Today's album, same title, Dock of the Bay. It came out on February 23rd, 68. It was more a modge podge of singles, B-sides, stuff that had been recorded that had been sitting around. So
Putting it all together.
This was a posthumous release. I think the first of the couple that were released after Otis's death. It does make Rolling Stone's top 500 albums list. And some of the final recordings for this album, he laid down like 2 days before the crash.
Whoa.
In particular, the overdubs to the song on the Dock of the Bay, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, 3 days before his death. Which is pretty crazy to think about.
He was sitting on the dock of the Bay of Life.
Yes.
Somebody pushed him in.
Yeah, God, I guess.
Gosh.
The song, though, was the first posthumous #1 single in U.S. history.
Oh. See, this is like we talked about these types of albums, and that sometimes I think that might be morally wrong, but it's like he was actively working on it.
He was.
So this is what I think is like right, like you're going to finish what he started.
Yes.
But I think the ones where it's like, oh, I went and found an old MP3 that Juice WRLD had trashed. It's like, we don't need that.
Yeah.
Like, if Juice WRLD didn't like it enough when he was alive, I don't think I need it now.
No. Yeah, that just seems like you're milking it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is interesting that you bring this up, too, because he was pretty insistent that it be released, despite people's hesitations to it. Because
From the grave?
No. This, as it was being recorded. Because it... I told you the overdubs were recorded like 3 days before he died, but like the actual song had been recorded like, I want to say like a couple months before that.
Okay.
But it's different from his usual because he's the king of soul. So he's very much known for like the soul and R&B and had a really, really big influence there. But it's kind of poppier. You know, it's a little bit more... I don't know. It has a more popular connotation to it or sound to it, and so people didn't like his circle, his musicians that were with him, like recording folks. They didn't think it was a good move. But Otis was insistent because he was trying to like explore different genres, and he thought it was his best song. So he was very insistent that it be released. And so that was partially why, because it was co-written by Otis and this guy named Steve Cropper. Steve Cropper went back and mixed it after his death.
So I'm thinking you're saying like, you know, there's like writing on the wall, like the chalkboard. Release the song.
Oh yeah,
and like his ghost
through the Ouija board. And Steve, when he mixed finally, he included the goal sounds and the crashing waves because that was requested by Otis. But the origin of the writing of the song comes from us while Otis was on tour with the Bar-Kays, excuse me. And while they were in San Francisco on tour, Otis was gaining a lot of popularity at the time, and the hotel room was swarmed with fans. So a fellow by the name of Bill Graham, who was a concert bookie in the San Francisco Bay Area, known for elevating famous venues such as the Fillmore and the Winterland Ballroom, and giving the Dead a lot of...
I knew you were going to bring up the Dead.
The Dead a lot of space to elevate their craft in the Bay Area. Provided Otis with a little respite because he had a houseboat on the Bay Area docks. He said, "Here, Otis, go stay there."
Go live on my boat.
Otis began to write the song there, literally sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tide
Very
roll
literal.
over. And throughout the next couple months, he would continuously like scratch down some lyrics on like napkins and hotel papers and everything. And then he took it to and collab with Steve Cropper. And another thing about another tie to MLK, this song was recorded at Stax. It was a lot of Otis's work. I mean, Otis is pretty essential to Memphis sound and Memphis soul. So I mean, there's
King
a
of soul, home of soul.
There's a massive connection there. So another draw to MLK there. But yeah, like I mentioned, a little bit more different than his usual style. If you go listen to some of the other bigger hits of his career, and you'll notice it kind of stands apart. But it's a beautiful song. It's like arguably one of the most beautiful songs of all time, one of the most like easygoing songs of all time. It has been a permanent staple on my Good Morning Jams playlist. It's like a great, like very easy way to start the day. It does mention a little bit like kind of some depressive themes, which kind of sucks, but it's really easygoing sounding.
Don't listen to the words.
Sometimes you feel the vibes more than you catch the lyrics. But it's a really beautiful song. And Booker T is on the keys, featured on the keys, as he munches on a green onion, just. It's unknown who is whistling at the end of the tune. Cropper is pretty sure that it is the track of Otis whistling. But there's some other fella, I forget his name, I didn't write it down, but some think it was him because he had a stronger whistle. So it was like mixed
perhaps
over,
a wetter
overdubs.
whistle?
Perhaps. But we'll just go with the fact that it's Otis. Very, very beautiful whistling, and I sometimes just subconsciously will just randomly do that line, like when I'm walking somewhere or something.
A big whistler.
Oh, huge whistle guy over here. Massive. The song did win 2 posthumous Grammys. This and obviously other aspects of Otis's career got him admitted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. We mentioned he was, lovingly named the King of Soul, and was also inducted into the Georgia Music Hall of Fame.
Where's the Songwriters Hall of Fame?
Where is the Songwriters Hall of Fame?
Springfield, Massachusetts. Oh, that's basketball. Cooperstown, New York. Oh, that's baseball. Cleveland. Oh, that's
the
rock and roll.
Songwriters. The Songwriters Hall of Fame is located in the Grammy Museum in Los Angeles,
lame.
California.
That's lame. Doesn't have a weird place to be.
Yeah, like Buck Snort.
Well, yeah, so many like Springfield, which I get, like that's the birthplace of basketball, but like in like a lot of Hall of Fames are just in random places. Like random to the masses. Obviously, there's importance to whatever it is.
It's like the Songwriters Hall of Fame in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. And
Is
it's
that
like their
a real
one
place?
draw. Yeah, you don't know about Woonsocket, dude? Woonsocket.
Oh, wound. I thought you were saying womb socket. I was like, coochie socket?
Nah, you don't know about Woonsocket?
No, I don't.
I like it when you Google a random place and then it tells you how far a flight is from where you are, as if the 2 places that you're currently situated have viable airports that you can buy purchase a ticket
How the
from.
hell would that flight be an hour and 10 minutes?
I don't know. It must be anticipating going like Hartford to Boston and then driving. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, you don't know about Woonsocket, Rhode Island, dude?
No, but that bridge in that picture was kind of cute.
And it's right on the Mass border there.
Oh.
Right up there.
Oh, all right.
Look like they got a Polish deli. Anyway. But Otis, what a guy, what a career to speak on, and what a songwriter, what a voice, what a timeless artist that will transcend many generations to come with wonderful music and artistry. So go listen to Otis. And
Goatus.
Yes, you can see why he is Goatus. Now it is time for the segment portion of today's show. Kicking us off as always is Emma's Everyday Jam, the song that you've been rocking and cranking in the last week on repeat. What you got?
Well, y'all, I still have only been listening to the same stuff, which is the whole point of the part of the podcast. But we did go see the Book of Mormon, and I've been jamming on the soundtrack. Cause there's some slappers in there, let me tell y'all. So I'm gonna pick All American Prophet from the Book of Mormon soundtrack. Real good. Want to learn the story of Mormonism? I know all y'all do in song form. It is a biased retelling, but it is funny and it also slaps.
Have you heard of the All-American Prophet? Heaven praise! The next in line to be the voice of God. My best friend! He's gonna do something incredible and be Joseph Smith again.
And now it's time for our Major Minor Chords, a segment of the show in which we discuss our respective highs and lows for the week. What you got?
My low for the week is that it is, as some would say, goddamn it, degrees outside. It is very cold, and I feel like I can't leave the house because it's also very windy here. And, like, I literally left and walked to the gym, and it felt like I had gone through a battle up Mount Everest. It was like I was being beaten from every turn.
Have you seen those memes where it's like a fake Apple weather screenshot, and it's like, balls, it's
Yes.
cold as balls.
Yes. That's how I feel. But yeah, that would be my my minor. My major is that we went and saw the Book of Mormon. It was so fun, and I had a really great time,
It was.
and it was really, really fun, and I really liked it, and it was
I
everything I
really liked
wanted.
it, and I had fun, and it was a good time.
And it was a good time, and I really liked it, and I greatly enjoyed myself.
Great.
So thank you.
I echo your minor, but major. By the time you hear this, I will be done with my 2 January classes, which is phenomenal because I'm exhausted, but it will have been worth it. And last but not least, it's time for our honorable mentions, the songs that almost made the cut or follow a similar rhyme or reason. And so another Otis track that is just a phenomenal piece of song. Go listen to I've Got Dreams, in parentheses, to remember. Otis Redding.
I've got dreams to remember. Listen, honey.
I've got dreams,
Rough dreams.
dreams to remember.
Second shout out to Chuck this episode.
Wow.
Second one. Go listen to Stitched Up, Herbie Hancock and Mr. John Mayer.
Stitched up out of my mind, feeling strung out, lagging behind, all trapped in, can't do a thing because I'm locked down. Stitched up, feeling the burn, all strung out, I finally learned that.
And I'll let you introduce the last honorable mention that I was supposed to make. So don't pay attention to the sheet here, because I think you know what we're getting at. So I'll let you introduce the last honorable mention for today's episode.
Y'all, I found this really, really good undercover indie country brother group on Instagram. They go by Land Law. And I think that they're starting to get the recognition they deserve. As far as I know, as far as I know, they only have one song. But, I mean, it's quite an earworm. It is quite an earworm, so definitely go and check out Country to the Bone by Land Law. Nope, not Land Law. Land Law. Lanlaw.
They got 3 songs.
Oh, Hillbilly Legal. Now that sounds like a southern
Lawyer. Or like a mega lawyer firm. Call Hillbilly Legal.
That sounds like a
On with it.
like a show,
Like one of them.
like Law and Order, but it's in like the rural South. Hillbilly Legal.
like a Southern General Hospital. Little soap opera action. Or it also sounds like a Southern mega lawyer firm.
Yeah.
You get injured, call Hillbilly Legal.
But yeah, definitely go check out Country to the Bone by Landlaw. You will not regret it.
It's waking up, busting your butt, trying to earn a little extra pay. It's taking her out when you get off to the creek for a fishing day. It's a way of life, it's choosing right, it's praying when you get home. It's black nights, it's a ride or die down a two-lane back road.
Did you get nicked by your plow? Call Hillbilly Legal.
Don't talk about getting nicked by your plow. That's inappropriate.
Oh my God. Were you on your cousin's property and you got rabies from a raccoon?
Why were you on your cousin's property?
Call Hillbilly Legal.
Doesn't matter while you were there. Doesn't matter the raccoon caught you with your pants down at your cousin's house.
Too far. That's going to do it for us this week on Monday, January 20th. Thank you for the like, follow, subscribe, share, listen, comment, rating, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next week on the 26th. Is that 27th? 27th?
27.
When is it? Add 7?
You never say the date at the end.
We'll see you on the 27th.
All right. Bye.